Hey, Earl here. I want to tell you about a guy I know named Eugenio. Worked at the same warehouse as my buddy for 28 years. Drove a forklift. Hit his freedom number around 56. Did everything by the book. Saved 15% of his paycheck. Got the company match. Maxed out a 401k every year he could. The man was the picture of doing it right. Then his neighbor Mavis retired the same year. Same warehouse, same paycheck within $500 of his. Same 30 years on the same concrete floor. Mavis even saved a little less than Eugenio did over her career. Some years she pulled back to keep her granddaughter in cleats and band uniforms. These two ate at the same diner most mornings. Their kids went to the same school. They both drove paid-off pickups they'd had since the Bush administration. From the outside, you'd swear they were running identical races at identical speeds. But by the time both of them were sitting on porches at 65, Mavis had $300,000 more in spendable money than Eugenio did. That's $300,000 on the same paycheck and the same effort. The only thing different was the box she put her money in. That's the difference between a Roth IRA and a traditional 401k. And I'm going to spend the next 19 minutes explaining why almost every working class person watching this video is in the wrong box right now, and how to fix it before the IRS takes a chunk that should be yours. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what move to make on Monday morning. First, let's get the basic idea out of the way, because most folks have heard of a Roth IRA, and they sort of know it's good, but nobody ever explained what makes it good in language a normal person can use. A traditional 401k is what most jobs sign you up for automatically. You put money in before taxes get taken out. So if you make $50,000 a year and you put $5,000 in your 401k, the IRS only sees $45,000. That feels like a tax break. That's the part the HR lady waves at you on day one. She says, "Look, Eugenio, free money, lower taxes." Eugenio hears the word free and signs the form. I done the same thing back in my working days. Before the lottery money came along and changed my situation, I was punching a clock and somebody handed me a folder with about 40 pages of fine print and said, "Sign here, here, and here." I didn't read a word of it. Most folks don't. The form's designed that way on purpose. What Eugenio doesn't hear is the second half of the sentence. You don't pay taxes now, but every dollar you eventually pull out gets taxed at whatever your tax rate is in retirement, plus all the growth that money picked up along the way. So, if your account grows from $50,000 to $400,000 over 30 years, you're paying taxes on the whole $400,000. You pay for the seed and the apple tree, both. A Roth IRA is the other side of that deal. You put in money you've already paid taxes on. So, the dollar that goes in is a real dollar with no shortcut. But here's where the trick lives. Once that money's in there, it grows tax-free, and when you pull it out in retirement, the IRS gets nothing. Not on the seed, not on the tree, not on the apples. The whole orchard belongs to you. Now here's the question that decides whether Eugenio or Mavis is going to come out ahead, which tax rate is going to be lower, the one you got right now or the one you'll have when you retire. For the financial industry's favorite customer, the high earner pulling in $200,000 a year, the answer is now. Their tax rate now is 30-something%. In retirement, they'll likely be in a lower bracket. So, skipping taxes now and paying them later is a smart move for them. That's who the traditional 401k was built for. Doctors, lawyers, executives, those folks. But that ain't us. Most working class folks watching this channel are sitting in the 12% or 22% federal bracket right now. That's a low rate. That's about as low as the IRS gets, short of zero. Now, think about retirement. You've got Social Security coming in. We talked about pulling your statement off SSA.gov in the $1 Million Live video. You've got 401k withdrawals if you got a traditional account. You might have a small pension, some rental income, a side gig in retirement. All that stuff stacks up. And the tax brackets the IRS uses today might not be the brackets they're using in 20 or 30 years. Here's the thing. The news folks don't talk about much. The Bush tax cuts that became the Trump tax cuts are temporary. They expire, Congress can extend them, or they can let them die. The whole structure of the brackets we use today is up for grabs every few years. So, when somebody tells you your tax rate is going to be lower in retirement, what they really mean is they're guessing. That ain't a plan. That's a bet. Smart people don't bet against the IRS getting bigger. The smart play is to lock in your tax rate now while you know exactly what it is, and tell future Earl he don't have to worry about it. Let's run the math on Eugenio and Mavis so you can see this with real numbers. Eugenio is 40 years old, makes $55,000 a year, puts $6,000 a year into his traditional 401k. His tax break right now is about $1,000 a year because he's in the 12% federal bracket and a 4% state bracket. 16% of $6,000 lands right around $960 of tax savings on the front end. Over 25 years, with the market's long-run return of 7% after inflation, Eugenio's $6,000 a year grows to about $380,000. We did the same compound growth math in the Netflix video, and a few others. The number checks out. Now Eugenio retires at 65. He pulls about $30,000 a year out of his 401k. He adds his Social Security on top of that. His combined income is around $50,000. His effective tax rate winds up around 12% again, plus state tax. So every dollar he pulls out, 16 cents goes to the government. Over 25 years of withdrawals, that's about $120,000 in taxes on the way out. Now, stack that against the original tax break he saved on the way in, which was only about $24,000 total over his working career. He saved $24,000 at the start. He pays $120,000 at the finish. He came out about $100,000 behind just on the federal taxes alone. That ain't even the bad part. The bad part is what happens when you compare Eugenio to Mavis side by side. Mavis put the same $6,000 a year into a Roth IRA instead. Same return, same time horizon. Her account also grows to about $380,000. But here's where the boxes split. Mavis paid her tax up front, the same 16% on each contribution. She gave up about $24,000 in tax breaks she could have taken, but every dollar that comes out of her Roth IRA in retirement comes out tax-free. So Mavis pulls out $30,000 a year. Eugenio pulls out $30,000 a year. They got the same gross number, but Eugenio loses about $4,000 to $5,000 a year to federal taxes, while Mavis loses zero. That's roughly $5,000 a year for 25 years, $125,000 in lost income for Eugenio. Then there's the second piece. Because Eugenio's 401k withdrawals push his income up, more of his Social Security gets taxed. When your provisional income climbs, the IRS counts more of your benefit as taxable. Mavis's Roth withdrawals don't show up in that calculation at all, so her Social Security stays mostly untaxed, and Eugenio's gets taxed harder. Add up the federal tax on the 401k withdrawals, the additional Social Security tax Eugenio pays, plus the state taxes that hit traditional accounts but not Roth in some states. And you're looking at $300,000 of difference between two people who saved the exact same amount. That's the gap. That's the whole video right there. $300,000. That's a paid-off house in some parts of this country. That's 6 or 7 years of expenses for a working-class household with a paid-off mortgage. That's a fishing boat, a camper, 10 years of grandkid college, and still leave something over. Mavis had all of that available to her. Eugenio didn't, and neither one of them earned a dime more than the other. If your jaw's on the floor, hit that like button. It costs you nothing, and it helps the YouTube gods send this channel out to more working people who need to hear this. Now, stay with me, because I'm about to show you the move to make this week. Here's the move. There's an order to funding your retirement that almost nobody explains right, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Step 1 is the simplest. Put just enough into your 401k to get the full company match. Whatever your employer matches, you put that in and not a penny more. The match is free money. Walking away from the match is the only real free money mistake there is. We talked about this in the lazy math trap. Step 2 is the part that changes everything. After you've captured the match, the next dollar goes into a Roth IRA, not back into the 401k, into a Roth at Fidelity or Schwab or Vanguard. You can put up to $7,000 a year in there if you're under 50, $8,000 if you're 50 or older. That's the Roth contribution limit for 2025, and it goes up most years. Step 3 is for the folks who can save more. After you've maxed the Roth IRA, then go back and put more into the 401k, or even better, see if your employer offers a Roth 401k option. A lot of jobs offer this, and most folks never click the right box on the enrollment form. The Roth 401k works the same as the Roth IRA, but inside your work plan. Same tax-free growth, same tax-free withdrawals. That order, match first, then Roth IRA, then back to the 401k, is what the financial people call a funded priority. And it ain't the order your HR lady will tell you. She'll tell you to dump everything into the traditional 401k, because that's what the form says. Now I'm going to give you 3 more reasons the Roth IRA beats the traditional account for working class folks, and then I'll walk you through the mistakes to dodge. Here's reason 1. The contributions are accessible. A Roth IRA has a feature nobody talks about because it sounds too good to be true. The money you put in, the contribution itself, can be pulled out at any age, for any reason, with no tax and no penalty. We're talking about the contributions, not the growth. So if you put in $6,000 a year for 10 years, you got $60,000 of contributions sitting in there. You can pull that $60,000 out tomorrow if you need it. The growth on it has rules, but the contributions are yours, available anytime. That ain't true for a 401k. Try pulling money out of a 401k before 59.5, and the IRS hits you with a 10% penalty plus regular income tax. We covered that in the age 59.5 trap video. The traditional 401k is a locked door. The Roth IRA is a locked door with a side window that opens whenever you need it. For early retirement folks, this changes the whole game. Every dollar of contributions you stack up in a Roth is a dollar you can use to cover years between when you stop working and when the rest of your retirement money becomes available. Picture this, you're 52 years old, hit your freedom number, ready to walk out. You got 200 grand in a 401k and 90,000 in contributions sitting in a Roth IRA on top of that. The 401k is locked up tight until 59.5, but that 90,000 of Roth contributions can come out tomorrow. That's 7.5 years of $15,000 withdrawals to bridge the gap, with no penalty, no income tax, and no permission slip from the IRS. Most folks have no idea that escape hatch exists. Here's reason 2. No required minimum distributions. When you turn 73, the IRS makes you start pulling money out of your traditional 401k and traditional IRA, whether you want to or not. They calculate a percentage based on your account balance and your life expectancy. Doesn't matter if you don't need the money. Doesn't matter if you'd rather let it grow. The IRS wants their tax revenue, so they force the withdrawal. Roth IRAs don't have required minimum distributions. None at all. You can leave that money sitting there for the rest of your life. It can grow tax-free forever. And when you die, it can pass to your kids and grow tax-free for 10 more years on their watch. That's the kind of legacy a working class person can actually leave behind. Most folks I know don't have a trust fund to pass on to anybody. But a Roth IRA worth $300,000 at 75 that's grown to $500,000 by 90 is a real piece of inheritance. Here's reason 3. Future tax brackets. I touched on this earlier, but it deserves its own minute. The federal government is in debt up to its eyeballs. The country owes more money than it ever has. Every economist outside of Wall Street will tell you taxes have to go up to deal with that. They might not go up next year or the year after, but at some point in the next 30 years, somebody's got to pay the bill. You can fight that fight if you want. The smarter move is to take your tax hit now, while the rates are historically low, and then never have to worry about it again. Mavis paid her taxes in 2024, 2025, 2026. She knew exactly what they were. Eugenio's paying his taxes in 2049, 2050, 2051. He has no idea what those rates are going to be. One of these two folks is taking a known deal. The other one's gambling with money he hasn't earned yet. Karma don't usually reward that kind of bet. Now let me hit you with 3 mistakes I see working class folks make all the time. Because if you're convinced you should switch to a Roth and you screw up the execution, none of this matters. Here's mistake number 1, thinking you don't qualify. A lot of folks hear Roth IRA, and they think it's some fancy account for rich people. The truth is the opposite of that. There's an income limit on Roth IRAs. If you make more than about $165,000 a year as a single filer, you can't even contribute directly. You got to do something called a backdoor Roth. The Roth IRA was practically designed for the working class and the middle class. If you make under that limit, you're the customer they had in mind from the beginning. Here's mistake number 2, skipping the match to fund the Roth. Don't do this. The company match is a guaranteed 100% return on your money before any growth even happens. You put in $1, your employer puts in $1, that's a 100% return right out of the gate, and it shows up before the market even has a chance to do its thing. Don't trade that for the Roth's tax-free growth. Get the match first, then go to the Roth. Order matters here too. Here's mistake number 3, picking the wrong investment inside the Roth. The Roth IRA is the box. What you put in the box is up to you. A lot of folks open the account, fund it, and then leave the money sitting as cash earning 2%. That ain't gonna grow to $380,000. You gotta actually invest the money inside the account. We covered this in the Netflix video. Pick a low-cost S&P 500 index fund or target date fund. Set it and forget it. The fund handles the investing. You handle the depositing. Oh, all right. Here's what I want you to do this week. 3 steps, all of them fast. First, log into your 401k at work and check what your employer matches. Write that number down. Set your contribution to exactly that percentage and no more. If you're already putting in 15% and your match maxes out at 6%, drop your contribution to 6%. The other 9% is going to get redirected to a better home. Second, go to Fidelity or Schwab or Vanguard. Takes about 10 minutes on the couch. Open a Roth IRA. Pick whichever one you like the website best on. They're all about the same. Set up an automatic monthly transfer that adds up to the full annual contribution limit, or whatever you can afford that gets you close. Third, inside that Roth IRA, buy one thing, a low-cost S&P 500 index fund. The ticker for Vanguard is VOO. For Fidelity, it's FXAIX. For Schwab, it's SWPPX. Same investment, just different brands. Don't overthink the pick. Set it up to automatically buy whenever the deposit hits. That's the whole move. About 30 minutes of your time total between setting the 401k percentage at work and opening the Roth at home. And the difference at retirement is $300,000 on a regular working class paycheck. That's the deal of a lifetime. And the IRS handed it to you for free. I think a lot about how the financial industry talks to people like us. They use words designed to make you feel like the rules are too complicated for you to understand on your own. So you sign whatever the HR lady puts in front of you. And you go to work, and 25 years later, you find out you were in the wrong box the whole time. But the rules ain't actually complicated once somebody draws you the picture. The IRS wrote them. The IRS likes things in tidy boxes. There's a pay taxes now box and a pay taxes later box. For a working class earner with a normal paycheck and decades of compounding ahead, the pay taxes now box wins almost every time. That's not me saying it. That's the math. Every dollar of growth in the Roth box is a dollar you keep. Every dollar of growth in the traditional box is a dollar you eventually share with the government. Eugenio wasn't dumb. Mavis wasn't smarter than him. The only difference between them was that Mavis got told the right order to do things, and that information saved her $300,000. I know something about doing things in the wrong order. I spent half my life putting stuff in front of stuff that should have come first. Beer in front of breakfast. Lottery tickets in front of rent. Getting a tattoo in front of paying the guy who fixed my truck. The list of bad ordering I've done could fill a phone book. The thing I learned the hard way is that order matters more than intention. You can want the right thing all day long, but if you put it in line behind the wrong thing, the right thing never gets done. That's what's happening to most working folks with their retirement money. They want the right outcome. They're saving the right amounts. They got the discipline. But the order is wrong, and the IRS is the one collecting on it. You got the information now. What you do with it is up to you. Karma works the same way money does. You put good things in, good things grow. You put the wrong thing in the wrong box. The wrong things grow. The Roth box rewards people who plan ahead. So, plan ahead. Here's what I want from you today. Open your Roth IRA, even if all you can swing is $50 a month to start. Then come down to the comments and type Roth and the dollar amount you're planning to deposit each month. Whether that's $20 or $100 or the full max, write it down and make it real. When you see somebody else's number in the comments, give them a thumbs up. We're all running the same math and trying to get to the same place. Subscribe if this is the kind of straight talk that actually helps. No trust funds, no crypto, no just make six figures advice. Real numbers for people with real jobs and real bills. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.